Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Argent Saga, and today we are going to be getting into our Expansion Set 1 set review. Uh, Expansion Set 1 is a little side set compared to our regular main sets. It has 25 cards in it. The MSRP for it should be around 25 bucks, give or take. Essentially how our release schedule for Prodded is going to be one main set, two expansion sets, so two of these little 25 card sets, and then another big main set. So I think that's really interesting. Always have something coming out, but like nothing to the point where like you're overwhelming players. So I think it's really good, and like there's a lot of really good cards in this to pretty much, at least in my mind, to justify buying it. So, but to jump right in, we have our first card. It is Raging Shard Beast. So it is a 1-drop 2K unit beast. So its power is kind of ridiculous. It's huge. And it reads, you cannot play cards with cost 3 or more. So this card's meant for like really low to the ground decks, or it belongs in a deck which cards don't cost a whole lot to play. So like Darkness is running it a lot. I know Fire's going to be running it. I mean, shoot, I have a Fire deck I intend to run it in, and it's just a really good card. This card, if you play it any time within the first 3 turns, you're guaranteed to break a tower, or they have to try and have removal for it, or you're just going to keep breaking towers, and you could potentially just win the game just in a straight Shard Beast. So I just think that's really interesting. Card's real good. A lot of people are expecting it to be really good, and pretty much one of the main reasons you want to buy the expansion. But next up we have Metaile, the Sealed Celestial. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, so bear with me with that. It is an 8-drop 5k unit legendary entity with Destroyer, so whenever it hits towers, it will destroy 2. This card cannot be targeted by unit abilities, so Stormcasters can't really affect by it, or can't really affect it. Bahamut's, Twilight Knights, no, Twilight Knight only hits Guardians. There's a bunch of other things that it prevents it from being touched by, which is real good. And then it has Flip Your Champion and Spirit face down, so you have to do both. And then destroy all units and augment your opponent control. So, I think this card's pretty good. I don't know if it's better than any of our other destroyers right now, just because he costs 8. But I'm not sure. I think this card will definitely be better if we have like cards to like cheat him into play. But I don't know. I think until then, I don't know. Like he might see play in like a really like slow deck or like a very controlly deck, and have this be like your like, if they kill Twilight Knight, this is your game ender past Twilight Knight. But I don't know. The future will only tell, honestly. But I think he looks cool. Like he just looks terrifying. Like I would not want to see that coming over a mountainside. So next up we have a little line of vanillas that all have like tribal synergies. So like this one's a golem, this one's a witch, this one's a knight, this one's a Sky Raider, which is really good because a lot of because there need to be more Sky Raiders, even though it's a 2-drop vanilla and it doesn't have abilities, it can still be really good. And then dragon. I kind of wish this was a Rayo of some kind, but that's just me with archetypes and whatnot. But their power is really strong. Like, this is a 4-drop 3k, 1-drop 1k, 3-drop 2,500. 2-drop 1,500. Or I probably said one of those wrong. Anywho, 5-drop 4K. So like all of these are just really strong for what they're asking for as far as cost. I don't know if they'll see play. Maybe in the future. Maybe there'll be cards that give vanilla cards abilities. I wouldn't put it past it. Some games do that. So, but I just thought that was interesting, and you can only get them out of here. So I don't know if they'll be important farther down the line. But next up, we have our 3 legendary shards out of here. So they're all named after 3 of our spirits that we currently have access to. So one's Fizzy, one's Kite, one's Corona. They all have a ability, or like, I guess a clause, that if you control another legendary shard, send this card to the discard zone. So if you call in another one, you have to send this whichever legendary shard you have currently in your control to the discard. So it helps you mitigate not having to have like I just have 3 legendary shards and I have them all out. I now have nothing but options. So they all tap for any color, which is real strong. And then they all have an exhaust effect. So it's exhaust, flip over your spirit, and then you get an effect. So Fizzies is you draw 2. Kite is you'll switch up to 2 shards to active. And then Corona, get out of here, shard posting. Corona is destroy target unit. So I think these cards are made for decks that don't necessarily have like draw power or play extension or like removal. Like if you have a deck like let's say you're running Hoenn Fizzy and you're really digging for a card and you throw Fizzy in here. So you can use Fizzy the Spirit's effect to shard drain 1, draw a card, and then you can use this Fizzy effect to flip your Fizzy face over. Instead of drawing 1, you draw 2. So you essentially get to dig for 3 cards instead of 2. Kite lets you untap 2 energy, so it can help you further extend your plays in mono air. Corona gives you another form of removal, which is probably going to be really good in the fire decks, at least in mono red. I feel like maybe that's just me. I don't know. I also like that they're not like specifically locked to a color. Like I can run a straight. Let's say I'm running mono air, and I need more removal. We can easily run Corona, and it can easily just deal with things that need to be dealt with. So, I don't know. I think these are going to be really good. I think this is another reason why you should buy the expansion set. But yeah, they're just really good cards. So next up, we have the Box Topper Champions. So we have the Box Topper Champions and the one-ofs of the starter decks in full art. And these cards look gorgeous. So, like, let's see. We have... Oh, nope. So we have Bahamut, the red one. We have Rain, the red champion. Stormcaster Vizier Towers, a.k.a. Matt Cosmer. Nobe, the Shadow Guardian. Lucent, Guardian of Vigilance. Gillian, the Witch Queen. She looks terrifying. Good lord. God bless. Great Hawk of Cloudsea, my personal favorite card, because that card just looks gorgeous. Aron, the Golden Rose. Ariana, Adventure of Argos. Look, she even has a little koala. God bless. God bless. Then, card a lot of people are going to be looking for, Ergon, the Tragic Gargoyle. Coming out in full art. I think this is another reason just to like swag out your collection. I'm definitely getting 3 just to have playsets of all these. And I think once I have like extras, I'll probably give them out to like people at my locals and whatnot. But still really exciting. So, but yeah, so we get those in there. And then our last section are actually spoilers that certain people in the community got a chance to spoil. So I believe I remember all of them, and I'm trying to link all their channels down in the description below. So like this was Negative Legend, this was NH Raven, this was, as you can see, TCG Scrubs, this was True Duelist TCG, or the True Duelist, and then this is, I believe it's either Team Everyday Gaming or just Everyday Gaming. But we're going to go over each one. They went over it in their video, so definitely go check it out. Give all their videos a like and a subscribe. It's always worth it. So, Negative Legends spoiler was Saint of the Sacred Regalia. 2-drop 1k unit. Hasn't arrived. If you control less units than your opponent, you may discard 1 card. If you do, search your deck for a gear cost 1 or less and equip it to this card. So, sadly, it's 1 or less, so you can't go search out Shard Dagger, so you can't give it swiftness and be really aggressive with it. But this card's still really strong. It can help you grab the shield to give it Guardian, and then it becomes a 2k Guardian that can kill almost anything as of right now that's attacking. So, just a really good card. I like it. I don't know how much play it'll see in light decks, but it's still really good. So, NH Ravens... spoiler is Burning Blitzer, is a 4-drop 1,500 unit. It has quickness and destroyer. So this is our first lower cost guy that has destroyer. And then it reads, this card cannot attack unless you've attacked with at least 2 units this turn. So this card's meant for like to further extend your plays in a really aggro deck. And like once you drop this guy on turn 4, as long as you attack with 2 other things, you're almost guaranteed to win that turn. So like you can drop a Shard Beast turn 1. Let's say we're playing fire, so you can do Shard Beast turn 1, turn 2 Dragonic Zone, turn 3. Oh wait, no, that wouldn't work because that wouldn't be a dragon. Oh well, you can just start playing like 1-drops or just like really low drops. And like by the time you get around here, you can swing in, almost guaranteed to break 2 towers by then. And if not, you can play Burning Blitzer. He has quickness, and he'll come in crashing in to break 2 towers, almost guaranteed. Granted, all of our towers are 1,500 or less, so I imagine we'll probably get some bigger towers hopefully soon. And when we do, you know, it'll probably even it back out. But still, I think this card's really strong, especially just for a red card. So next up, we have Catastrophe Demon. You can't really see the cost of it, but it's a 5-drop 3k unit demon. Has Destroyer, so whenever it attacks a tower, it'll attack 2. And then it reads, your opponent's units and shards come into play exhausted. So they don't stay exhausted, they just come into play exhausted. So it pretty much sets your opponent back a turn. I know some people down from Ashland were talking about it and said that there was a way to get this out turn 3 with Philosopher's Stone. I don't know if it can be turn 3, but I know guaranteed it can almost be turn 4 in certain decks. And that's also not implying if you've like already Urgoned like set up for it or whatnot. So, but I think this card's great. I think this card is really dumb, honestly. Like this card can set it up to where you can lock your opponent out really early, or just like make them have to have removal for it. Granted, it can like be stolen with Leviathan, and then that just hurts. But like that's a very limited thing. And if you get this out early enough, they have to wait essentially a whole nother turn to try and get Leviathan out once it gets around to like the 7 and 8 shard point of the game. So, but definitely not a bad card. I think it's good. I want to see more demons personally. So we have True Duelist spoiler. It is Arbor Carbuncle. 1-drop 500 unit beast, so it's another beast, so that's great. It reads, I know it's a little hard to read, so I'm just going to read it out loud. When this card is returned to your hand from the field, you can search your deck for one Arbored Carbuncle. I'm going to keep messing that up, I know I will. And add it to your hand. During your turn, expel this card and 2 other Arbored Carbuncles from your hand. Draw 2 cards, switch up to 2 of your shards to active. So, I personally think this card's great. I think it can see play over Sky Recruit, even though Sky Recruit is a Sky Raider. I just think with this card letting you extend your plays really early on is what like the air deck kind of needs, and like it can even see play in like air water to help you just get there. I'm not sure though. Like Darkness just hurts this card really bad, so I don't know. Might be really good, might not. Not really sure. So. And then the last card we'll be going over is Crystal Dimension Dragon. So it is a 10-drop 4k unit dragon. So it's a blue dragon, which is really interesting. It reads, if you played 5 or more water spells this turn, the cost for this card becomes 0. So if you played 5 or more water spells, it becomes a 0-drop 4k, which, by the way, is just ridiculous. And then it has an arrive. If you play this card from your hand, your opponent cannot put units into play or play spells during their next turn. So, this card, I want it to be really good. Because if you do it right, this card can just win games. Like, the best way I can think, or like the fastest way I can think you might be able to get this to work is probably either turn 4 or 5. And even like Everyday Gaming said, like in their channel, like they're thinking probably 4 consistently, or no, 5 consistently. And I was just thinking 4 because like you'll need 2 May use assistants out, but that requires you to keep 2 assistants on the board. Most of the time, if you have a May use assistant on the board, it's gonna die. But if you have 2 of those out and you play 5 spells, you can potentially play, depending on what your hand looks like, 3 of these guys. Your opponent can't play things the next turn, and then you can just start beating face. So, I don't know. I think it could be really good. I think it's a card that is really good when it comes to future-proofing the game because of how it's worded. And even if you like cheat it in from your hand somehow, it's still really good. I think the fact that it's 10 drop is perfectly fine. It balances it out. But yeah, I think the card... I don't know. I think it's going to be... I think it kind of falls under like a Meta Isle effect. Where like he'll be good later on, but I don't think he's good right now. So... But anyways, guys, that's our expansion set 1 review. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will try and remember to put everyone else's YouTube channels down in the description below. But anyways, y'all have a great day. Let me know if y'all are excited for this set. I am super excited just to try and get playsets of all these cards. Y'all have a fantastic day, and I will see y'all in the next one. Alright, bye-bye.